There is one reason Kamala Harris is doing well in the polls right now. The media, of course, is propping her up. They're not even beginning to try to explain her views or challenge her reversal on just about every major policy position she's ever had. This is a total deep fake. This whole scheme is going to unravel in September and October. I want you to just be patient. Hang in. We got to get through August. We got to get through this Democrat convention next week in Chicago. She's going to continue to do well in the polls. My friend Mark Davis in Dallas thinks that she will be kind of awful in her speech. I think she'll do fine. She's good with the teleprompter. She does all right. She gives a better speech than Biden does. I know she's not the world-class orator they try to make her out to be, but my prediction is they will do pretty well at that convention. And the media will continue to swoon because the media wants to defeat Donald Trump. The latest flip-flop, according to the Harris campaign, now she will not endorse Medicare for all, despite campaigning on universal Medicare just a few years ago. Every position she's ever had, she's pretending she's changing her mind about. And as Vivek Ramaswamy pointed out last night on Fox News, there's only one driving factor behind her rising in the polls. It's not Trump. It isn't Trump's campaigning or his strategy. It's the media's infatuation with a narrative that maybe she can be the giant killer. Here was Vivek last night on Fox.
The reality is that Kamala Harris never went through the primary process where she had to cater to the left. So now she gets to appear like she's in the center when, in fact, she's one of the most radical nominees we've seen from the Democratic Party. There's exactly one reason she's rising in the polls. It's because the media is propping her up. And our formula to win this, Sean, is ultimately we got to take this back to our vision for policy in the future of the United States. If we do that, we win. If we steer from that path, we lose. I think it's that simple. And you know what? The media does present an uphill battle, but it's up to us to actually overcome that and to win. That's what I'm in favor of.
We've always known that this is going to be an uphill battle. You had to know that. There's no way you could have sat back and thought, well, we got this in the bag. And along comes Nikki Haley. I bring this up. I was really tempted to ignore her, but we have such a great partner in South Carolina on 98.9 WORD, and I'm so thankful to everybody who's been texting and writing, and I'll be back there next week. We're going to go to the big Lake Kiowee boat parade, the Trump boat parade on August 24th. We'll be on a big, beautiful pontoon with Trump flags and American flags, and we're going to have a great time. We're going to be streaming it all over social media. Joey is putting together we're going to have an infrastructure. We're going to have cameras on the boat. We're going to be streaming on X and Rumble and Facebook and MikeOnline.com, I think. We're going to be all over the place. It's going to be Saturday, August 24th, hundreds and hundreds of boats, all in support of Donald Trump. And so I bring up Nikki Haley's comments. She made headlines this week because she's pulling I told you so. You know, apparently she predicted a long time ago that if Trump's the nominee, Kamala Harris will come along and beat Trump. So she gets to take a victory lap and say, oh, I told you so, told you so. Here she was with Bret Baier telling Trump how he needs to conduct his presidential campaign.
Governor, there's someone inside the Trump campaign, and maybe the former president himself, who's watching this interview saying, wow, she's really good. Why can't we use her in suburban wherever? If he called and said, could you go here to campaign for me, would you do it?
I mean, he's welcome to call. I have talked to him. He's welcome to do that. They are doing what they think is best, and that is his right to run the campaign he wants to run. He's chosen that. All I'm saying is I want to see them focus, and I want to see them win. We have too much at stake. We have to win this election. And I genuinely hope that he will go out to the 20% of people that are going to decide this election and say, you know what, I need your vote. and I'm going to fight hard to do it, and these are the issues I'm going to fight on.
And he's done that over and over again. You know, one of the great deceptions is this narrative that Trump isn't focused on policy. The Elon Musk interview has garnered over 1 billion views. That's with a B. I didn't say 1 million, I said 1 billion. And the vast majority of people who watched and listened to the interview were young people. Young people on the platform absorbing what Donald Trump's vision for America really is. Nikki Haley knows that. The mainstream media knows it. The people who are walking around criticizing, sitting on your armchair, this Monday morning quarterbacking, saying, here's what Trump should do, here's what he shouldn't do. He's doing all of that. He is addressing policy, but he's not going to roll over for Kamala Harris. You think he's going to let her get away with the crap that she's trying to get away with? It's never going to happen. Are you kidding me? You know who Donald Trump is. Here's what she goes on to tell Bret Baier last night on Fox News, that it's not about crowd sizes. We got to resist this temptation. Trump shouldn't. Well, let me play her clip.
Do you think that's not happening now? Do you think that this campaign is floundering on that point?
I want this campaign to win. But the campaign is not going to win talking about crowd sizes. It's not going to win talking about what race Kamala Harris is. It's not going to win talking about whether she's dumb. It's not. You can't win on those things. The American people are smart. Treat them like they're smart.
Do you as if he's not, huh? You think that Trump is talking down to the American people? You think he's going to ignore the obvious about Kamala Harris? Look, there's a lot of people who are saying, "Oh, Nikki's right. Nikki's right," and I'm in a mindset right now. Sure, you can absolutely criticize Trump all day long. Knock yourself out. Go ahead and spit in the wind. Explain how you think Trump's going to stop being Trump today. And I'm worried about people who have a platform like Nikki Haley. On the one hand saying, I want him to win, I want him to win, I want him to win. And then on the other hand, acting like he's not doing the things that he's doing. If Donald Trump didn't talk policy, I'd say Nikki Haley's right. If Donald Trump hasn't laid out a vision on his website, a platform, if Donald Trump hasn't spelled out what he wants to do and plans to do with the border and with the economy and with foreign policy, and with the military and with the police. I mean, he has laid out in excruciating detail what he plans to do in a second term. If he didn't do any of that, I'd say Nikki Haley is right. Instead, Nikki Haley says, oh, we won't win if we talk about crowd size. Well, guess what? The man can walk and chew gum at the same time. And he is going to go after Kamala Harris the way she's gone after him. And everything is going to change come September. I just want to make sure we hang on for the next couple of weeks. We got to get through August. Welcome in. It's a Wednesday episode of the Mike Gallagher Show in the Relief Factor Studios. I want to put your voice front and center. 800-655-MIKE. Give me your take on what Nikki Haley said. Give me your opinion about what I'm having to say. I think we get through August. They'll probably have a decent week. The media will go gaga over the convention next week in Chicago. There'll be more surging polls for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. And then September, October, November, it'll be our turn. The pendulum will swing back to common sense and reality and truth, because we do have truth on our side.
Mike Gallagher.
I'm going to ask you a question in good faith. Would you be surprised if Kamala Harris came out with a red Make America Great Again hat on? Because at this point, she's trying to flip-flop and reverse every position she's ever had. Maybe she'll come out and say, look, I know this is awkward, but I'm now a Republican. Why not? And the media will lap it up. I read this morning an article in the Los Angeles Times about some clown, veteran columnist for the Los Angeles Times, bragging on Kamala Harris's no taxes on tips policy. That hers is going to be economically better than Trump's. She steals Trump's policy, and they're pretending hers will be better. Oh, she'll do it. I'm sure tomorrow's column will be how she's going to be better on the border than Trump is. She'll seal the border in a way that Trump never could. That's going to be the next take from the mainstream media. It's pretty remarkable what we're witnessing right now. Again, be patient. August is going to be rough. We're in the middle of a rough month. September is around the corner. 800-655-Mike. Tom on Long Island, New York. Hey, Tom, how are you?
Hi, Mike.
Hi.
Mike, I think the Republican candidate going up against these two characters should just have to stand there and sing "God Bless America" to the crowd and then go home, and we should win in landslide.
Not do anything.
Something is wrong somewhere.
Oh,
Mike.
I know.
And,
I know.
The press can deceive the people, but the American people, these are adults. They have a brain. They can figure this stuff out for themselves. I agree with Pete Hegseth from Fox News.
Right.
That they've been brainwashing our kids in the schools for the longest time, and they're growing up to be these leftist radicals. I mean, some of these people are friends of mine, Mike, and I can't get through to any of them.
I know. I feel the same way. I talk to some of them, and it's like they're so stubborn and entrenched in what they think they believe. And to be, I mean, can you imagine being excited about Kamala Harris, Tom? Kamala Harris? I mean, what? And so here, but well, you said something that's really important. That something is wrong. You're right. Something is definitely wrong. These polls that keep saying there's all this enthusiasm. And then I see survey after survey on social media. You see Elon Musk's interview get a billion views. I don't even know where this came from, but I saw it on X last night. This is a kid who went into a, was it a Walmart, Christian? I think it was a Walmart or store like that, some department store. And he just went up to people randomly and asked them, who do you like for president, Kamala Harris or Donald Trump? He got to one person who was a Kamala supporter, and it was a guy who worked at the Walmart. Check this out.
Trump or Kamala?
Trump.
Trump or Kamala for president?
Trump.
Trump or Kamala?
Who?
Trump or Kamala?
Oh. Not Kamala.
Excuse me, sir? Trump or Kamala?
Trump.
Trump or Kamala?
Huh?
Trump or Kamala?
Oh, Trump for sure.
Trump or Kamala? Trump.
Trump or Kamala?
Trump.
Trump or Kamala?
How about if you stop doing that, please?
Trump or
So
Kamala?
he got kicked out and he went to Lowe's.
Trump.
Trump or Kamala for president?
Trump.
Not a single person said Kamala yet. Trump or Kamala?
What are you talking about?
For president, Trump or Kamala?
Kamala.
You were the first person to say Kamala.
Right.
I don't really like her.
Well, I don't care.
What would you
Trump belongs in jail.
What would you say to Trump if he was here right now?
I would shoot him.
Trump or Kamala, guys?
Trump.
Trump or Kamala for president?
Trump.
So the one Kamala supporter would like to shoot Donald Trump because he didn't mind saying that on camera with his name tag exposed. I don't know where that Lowe's was. I don't know what city that was in, but you can see the guy's name tag. He's some grumpy old man working at Lowe's, cussing this kid out and saying that he'd like to shoot Donald Trump and that Trump needs to go to belong in jail. Now, you could make an excuse and say that, well, his emotions got the better of him. He just got caught up in the moment. Wait a minute. After what we experienced a month ago with seeing Trump on the floor of that stage in Butler, Pennsylvania, you think a guy who works at a Lowe's, who's asked a legitimate question, who do you prefer for president, should be able to get away with saying, I'd like to shoot Donald Trump? Here we are. That's a Kamala supporter. 800-655-Mike. Let's get two callers in here together who disagree about Nikki Haley. I want to first welcome Ray from Livermore, California. How you doing, Ray? Welcome back.
Hey, Mike.
Hey,
Great show.
Thank you. Wait a minute, and I also want to bring David in from Chicago. Hey, David, how's it going?
Hi, Mike. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. Appreciate both of you guys calling. David, I want you to start. You agree with Nikki Haley. I want to let Ray respond, and let's all have a dialogue here. What is it you agree with regards to what Nikki Haley told Brett Baer last night on Fox News?
What I think is there's a scripture in the Bible that says, "Speak evil of no man." And we should respect our leaders and people in authority. And I wish Donald Trump would just, I think he's got great policy. He's got so many wonderful things to run on. I wish he would stop the personal attack, stop acting like a adolescent kid, like one of my middle school students. I teach middle school history. I wish he would just stop that. Stop calling her names. She's nothing. She's this. She's that. She's Indian. She's black. Nobody cares about any of that stuff.
Okay, Ray.
Yes.
Ray, let me let Ray respond.
Yeah, speaking of evil, we should elect Ben Carson then, because he would definitely fit that mold. Nikki Haley is not part of Trump's council. She's not part of his inner circle, so nobody really wants her advice. So what she should be doing is either blocking for Trump or shutting up and getting out of the way. That's what Nikki Haley should be doing.
And David, if I could say, David, I don't want to gang up on you here, but I do want to ask you, what Trump did in 2016 was incredibly effective, right? Trump beat back 16 Republican opponents, and arguably they were some of the finest Republican candidates for president we've ever seen. And one by one, the American people chose Trump over those 16 candidates, right? And they chose Trump for warts and all. Everything that you just complained about, that's what the American people voted for. That's what Americans want. They want a fighter. They want a guy with sharp elbows.
Right.
So why would he change now, David?
Mike, let's be honest and truthful about this. Trump's win was a fluke. Okay, he didn't think he was going to win. Okay, things came together. The Russian, the Russian thing with WikiLeaks and all this stuff. All this stuff came together. I don't mean to get personal here. You're a Trump supporter? I'll say this. I voted for Trump in 16, and I voted for Trump in 20. For the 2024, I was supporting Mike Pence, and when Mike Pence was no longer in the race, I was supporting
I'm the grumpy old troll who lives under the bridge. Hey, I'm the grumpy old troll who lives under the bridge.
Sometimes it happens a little quicker than others. Some days it takes a little while. Sometimes it takes a while for the truth to come out. I'm a Trump supporter. I voted for him twice. I'm all in. Now, but when he won, it was a fluke. And the Bible says, thou shalt speak well of, yeah, okay, got it. Sean's in, thank you both, gentlemen, for both of your calls. And David, you were very entertaining. Sean in Jacksonville, Florida. How you doing, Sean?
Hey, how's it going, Mike?
Good. What's up?
Hey, so I'm going to talk about the guy that was in Walmart and Lowe's.
Yeah, the guy the clerk that said he wants to shoot Trump.
Yeah, so that elderly gentleman, if I was like the supervisor of that department or store manager, and I seen that clip, he would be terminated immediately.
How could you not fire him? How could he not be brought up on charges?
Right, because that's not customer service, right? He's there to provide customer service.
No, I don't think that's customer. I hope that's not customer service. If that's Lowe's version of customer service, we all better walk in armed. We all better put a bulletproof vest on. We better bring our Byrna less lethal launcher into Lowe's with us if that's customer service. One open line, 800-655-MIKE. I'm telling you, I just came off of vacation. Where am I going to go now? I got to be here. I got to hold down the fort. We got too much to deal with, but my gosh, I feel like we are in La La Land. 17 minutes before the hour. Text message from Dayton, Ohio. Mike, there's absolutely no way in hell that David from Chicago voted for Trump ever. And if Nikki Haley knew how to run a presidential campaign, she'd be the nominee instead of Donald Trump. Well, there is that. Nancy is in Naples, Florida. Hi, Nancy.
Hi there.
Hi there.
I do agree. I do agree with Nikki Haley. Not on very much, but on this I do.
Okay.
In my opinion only, maybe a lot of other people, I think things better start with right now with talking about facts. Forget about what can be done and what can't be done. How bad a person she is. All we have to talk about right now are the facts. We have a lot of facts behind us, and that's all. It's to the point.
Got it. And I knew when we played the Nikki Haley clips, people would come out of the woodwork and say, "Oh yeah, she's got a good point." You know what I want? Yesterday I got the car washed, and then it rained 5 minutes after I got the car washed. I spent $33 on a car wash, and then I'm driving over the bridge and it starts to pour down rain. I wish it didn't rain after I got my car washed. You wish that Donald Trump won't have sharp elbows and will suddenly moderate his approach. Okay, that's about as realistic as me wishing it didn't rain. Trump is going to do what Trump does. And what Trump has done has been enormously successful. And sitting on the sidelines and critiquing how he campaigns is irrelevant. You could wish for this. It's the weirdest thing when people do this. It's the craziest thing. Oh, I wish Trump would be a nice, warm, loving, biblical man who praises Kamala Harris and says that he has deep respect for her. Oh, that would win, right? That'd work. You know what Trump is that Kamala Harris is not? You know what Trump is that Tim Walz is not? He's authentic. You know, the Greg Gutfeld monologue was so good. Do you have that in the archives, Christian? Can we pull that out, please? It was so good and so spot on. And this is the response to the Nikki Haleys of the world and the Nancys of Naples of the world. Oh, I wish Trump would be a nicer guy. You realize we're going right back to we don't want mean tweets. We're right back to that again. That's all we heard through 2016. And no, David, it wasn't a fluke that Donald Trump won. It was a decisive outcome of Americans fed up with lying, inauthentic frauds like Kamala Harris. And I'd say like Nikki Haley. Dare I say that? Here's Greg Gutfeld. Here's the response. Here's the perfect, even though it's out of order, and Greg's monologue was on Friday on Fox, and she was on Bret Baier, I think, yesterday. So it's a little bit out of order. You want to know the perfect response to Nikki Haley's belief that Trump needs to soften the edges and focus on only policy and leave Kamala alone? Greg Gutfeld has the perfect reply.
I want to look at the big picture here because Harold did bring up, I understand Harold's point about discipline, but you can't expect a political experience from somebody who is never going to be a politician. And Trump is never going to be a politician. He wasn't raised as one. He doesn't act like one. He did a 70-minute relentless question and answer period. What should be gained from that? Like when you walk away from that, you can go, God, I wish you would rein that in. But the thing is, the one thing that you saw, if let's say with the 5, we have millions of viewers. A lot of them don't like Trump and a lot of them are Democrats. So they're listening to me tell you why this matters. He's engaged. And that's really necessary right now. All of the pistons are working. He was there for 70 minutes. He answered every question. You can tell that he's going to be like that with everything because he is. There's not that phony engagement of the establishment politician where they say exactly enough. It's neat and it's tidy and it's almost impossible to remember what they said after they said it. Politicians are trained to say nothing. You know, and he can't do that. He never got that training. So I think when you're watching vintage Trump, You have to realize that this is how he's going to be in meetings with people who aren't friendly to the United States or people who want something from America, and we demand scrutiny and reciprocity. So just replace the media with all those people. He's not a figurehead. So if you're looking at him, you're going, I can't stand it. He's not a figurehead. He's an agent. He's your agent. He's America's lawyer. He's in the room there to represent his client, America, your needs and your concerns. He's supposed to be an you know, he's not interested in impressing the other people in the room. I want an agent or a lawyer with that relentless energy that makes people upset. And the country needs that. We've had 4 years of perk-hungry elites who are there for the pomp and not for the people. So it's kind of, you have to look at this stuff as a necessity, that this guy is going to be that way in a room with people that have been screwing us over forever. Do you want him or do you want Kamala? Who do you want in that room? You want the guy that nobody likes because they don't like him for a reason.
That's brilliant. And that's the perfect response to the critiques of Donald Trump. Meanwhile, I'm told that in Asheville, North Carolina, which is a very, very liberal city, Trump's going to hold a rally there. Already, the line is miles and miles long. Lines are wrapped around city blocks in Asheville, North Carolina, hours ahead of Trump's scheduled rally there. I'm not real sure Nikki Haley would get that kind of a response, even in neighboring North Carolina.